And here we are. When you're zoomed out, this map looks really cool. I hope everyone later on, the comments on YouTube says, wow, that's a really cool map. And just leaves it at that. And everyone agrees. And that the game matches it as well. This map is Hamburger, which was normally designed as a 1v1 map, which had a single line of trees separating the players. And so I guess, with that, the wood line is supposed to be a burger. When you add 8 players, there's a lot more lines, so I don't know if I've ever had a burger quite like this. It'd be like a spider burger, which sounds horrible, and I even regret saying it. The goal in this game is to take out the other players' town centers. This is sudden death. You cannot rebuild more town centers. You are stuck with the one that you start with. And we have Deadbread, a first-time community game player who said they were nervous in the Discord before this here, playing as the Hindustanis. In the gray, we have Sir Walrus, an experienced community game member, who also randomed into Persians. You lucky dog. Persians have double the amount of HP on their town center, which is a pretty good bonus to have in a game mode like this. What are the odds? In the orange, we have Rorik, another experienced member who's got the Mongols. In the green, we've got the Sheriff playing as the Slavs. I think it's the Sheriff's first time. I could be wrong on that. Golden Pincers did say that it was their first time. They've got the Incas. Not too bad. In the red, we've got Space Kinch, another experienced player as the Bohemians. Over here in the blue, we've got Mr. Rat Bastard. He said it, not me. Okay, don't be offended. And then in the yellow, we have KP Boy playing as the Celts. Of course, the infamous, famous Celt ETC could happen here. So this is how you play this map. You take the wood. Well, eventually, right? You don't even take the wood right away. You get your town center rolling with villagers, and then you take the wood. There's a very good chance that you could actually chop through to somebody, so be careful about that. But then you want to dock and fish for your economy, and then potentially later on, you can use the Navy to help out on land, or you could transport to the outside to get golden stone or whatever else is out there. I will say that transporting to take more golden stone, probably not the most realistic of things to do in this map because it's just so much work. You really have to scout thoroughly to find it. And again, you can't build more town centers in this game mode. So the expanding to the outside is probably a little less likely in a sudden death game. But yeah, don't neglect the water here because in some cases, you could have cannon galleons in position to be able to range a TC. Oh, look at this. We have Gray making a dock alongside of the walls there from the enemy there. Is that it? Is that supposed to be a dock block? That is not a very good dock to place, Sir Walrus. You have to place a palisade anyways to actually block that choke point. And ideally, you'd be looking for the fish out here, but okay. Yellow was in purple's area because yellow's scout went by and got the sheep. But you can walk along the shoreline to access the other players' sections. So normally what players do is they place one palisade wall on those sections to block people from walking over to their side. Okay. So Persians, top tier civilization, very hard to kill. Can be seen as a bit weak in terms of their options, but Persian town centers also work faster starting in feudal. So like having that one TC work faster than everyone else's, having the extra HP, it's probably your number one civ pick, honestly. Apart from that, I really like the Mongols. I think the Mongols they fall into the category of a civilization that could just kind of kill everyone, regardless. They have very few bad matchups. I like the Bohemians a lot because of the potential with the gunpowder later on. Also could have pretty good low villager economy with the monastery upgrades affecting the villagers. I really like the Hindustanis too. The cheaper villagers, and only getting cheaper as the game goes on, can be very helpful as well. There's not really a civilization here I don't like, except for maybe the Slavs, just due to the fact that the Slavs are slightly more awkward. But again, they have faster farms. They do have cheap siege, and I feel like siege could be helpful. Faster working town centers is less important for just one TC because you only have one that benefits. Yes and no, though, right? Because you're in a position to always get a lead, regardless of what your opponent's doing. Whereas in a normal game where you might go 3 TCs, someone with Britons could go with cheaper TCs to 5, or like they can get ahead of you. Here, there's absolutely no way they could surpass you in TC efficiency, unless, of course, it is something that you're failing on. So I think the fact that you are stuck on 1 TC helps the Persians here more than hurts the Persians. Okay, so Gray knows purple's there. And Deadbread said, I think it was Deadbread or was it Golden Pinchers? One of them said, you know, this is my first community game. The other one said, yeah, me too, and I'm getting very nervous. So, and it's honestly, sudden death is brutal. I kind of feel bad hosting it sometimes. Because like someone can play really well, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a couple mangonels on their face. They weren't expecting it, then they're out of the game, and it's just like, it can be kind of a frustrating game mode to play if you're one of the first couple ones to go down. So we will see. Well, someone says, I'd rather take Japanese discount scaling with buildings, especially when I have to build more lumber camps. I think I'd prefer Persians only because, again, you have the extra HP on the town center, but then you also have bomber cannon. I think Japanese not having bomber cannon is the big argument against them for this. But they had no say in the matter for all their civilizations. Mr. Rat Bastard does have Japanese, though. And the thing I like about Japanese is how good their fishing economy is. Yeah, Portuguese would actually be insane, right? Because everyone's stuck on 1 town center economy, but you can make the Feitoria, which brings you in so many resources. I was very surprised when the devs didn't make any changes to the Feitoria on the Portuguese with the biggest Age of Empires 2 patch ever. Like, I think that we've officially reached that point with the Feitoria where people realize how to use it at the competitive level, and there could just be some insane situations. I think it is really hard to balance infinite resources, especially if it's infinite of every resource. So we're not going to get too deep in on like total thoughts on the Feitoria and whatnot, but I want to tell you this because this is a crazy story. Okay, so if you don't know, there's this event going on called Nations Cup. I haven't cast a lot of it. I'm going to be casting the last couple weeks of it now that I'm back home and everything. So looking forward to that. But there was a 4v4 Team Islands game, okay? And one team was winning significantly, but they were really struggling to finish the other off, okay? It was Austria versus UK. And Austria, they had Portuguese, right? So the downside of the Feitoria, of course, is that you cannot, it takes up 20 population space. So 20 population space per Feitoria. Normally, someone with Portuguese is going to make like 3, maybe 4. In some instances, we've seen 5. In this particular game, because everyone ran out of resources, they ran out of wood. The Portuguese player for the Austria built, what would be the max of Feitorias? Was it 10? Yeah, because I think you can still build the 10 with like one villager or something. 10 Feitorias. So it had like no pop, no actual working pop except for the Feitorias. And just sat there slinging, which means sending resources to his allies. So, he had 10 Feitorias, was contributing in no other way. Everyone's like running out of res. He's just sending wood and sending gold and sending stone to his teammates. And eventually, after like an additional hour in the game ended being almost 3 hours, the Feitoria sling into some other things too, like trade cards or whatever else, grinded down the opposition. It was ridiculous. So they won the game. Yeah, they won the game that way. Not really going to cast it because it was so long and it took so long for it to process, but anyways, it was a pretty unique scenario, to be honest. Okay, we have a castle here from Space Kinch. So they're experienced players in this game. Space Kinch, Sir Walrus, Capey Boy, Rorik. The others are very fresh onto the community game scene. Where can we watch it? I don't know who covered it. I'm going to assume, I think it was maybe T West I saw it. I think there was a T West cast of it somewhere. I was away for my birthday week lots of castles, which can be used offensively or defensively. I like the positioning of Red's castle. It's near the shoreline. If anyone were to transport, you could tell he's thinking about the potential of transporting. We'll probably have a castle for Mongols. The Mongols is the most exciting player to be building a castle just because the Mangudai is so good. Also, there is a transport ship here for Sir Walrus. Interesting. And you can naturally chop through the wood lines to get to your opponent, especially if you're the Celts and you chop wood faster. Or you could eventually go for Onager, but Onager takes time. Pretty close game, all things considered. Green has a lot more army according to this, but that's just navy. And that's just making sure that no one transports over here to block anything. Economy overall is pretty good with the fishing boats. Being the slabs, I'd like to see green start to mix in farms because they do farm very fast. But when you have fishing economy, it's certainly not too late of a transition here. I'm 1050 ELO. Is that any good for Xbox? Wait, so you play with a controller in your 1050 ELO? I don't actually have an answer for you because you're probably playing against only controller players. If you were to be playing on a ladder that incorporated like PC and mouse or like keyboard and mouse, that'd be insane. That'd be insane. But I don't know what the average ELO is for Xbox only. My instinct is that I'd have to look at the ladder, that's very good compared to the majority of players who are playing on Xbox. There is a ladder that you can check, so maybe that could give you more of a feel for where you're at in the overall rankings. So we have quite a few Ghoulems here. You'll notice that from Yellow's position, Yellow can't see the castle. The Yellow doesn't know that Purple could run in at any moment. And Yellow actually stopped chopping through the wood line, didn't want to give the opponent access by chopping through. It's going to chop this way. Yes, controller, but my mate plays Xbox too, but with keyboard and mouse. Okay, gotcha. Does anyone know, does AOE2.net have the Xbox ladder? Again, maybe someone else will know. There is a way to look at the ladder, and you could give yourself an idea. But I think that's pretty solid. It looks like Evan just linked the cast there, T-West. Definitely worth scrolling through to see some of it. But yeah, I mean, the tricky thing about the Feitoria for me too is I think the Feitoria would be fine if Portuguese didn't receive all these other buffs. Like, the reason the Organ Gun was nerfed by the Portuguese in this patch is because they got the berry bonus, right? So that you give Portuguese anything more, which they did, and suddenly you've got to start taking away in other areas. But we won't see a Feitoria here, so I won't focus on it too much. Dude, Robert, I'm with you, man. Like, I feel like it'd be such a nightmare and so difficult to play Age of Empires 2 on a controller. But there's a lot of people that came back to the game because it's available on Xbox, because they only have an Xbox and they don't have PC or whatever, right? A lot of people are playing it. And I think a lot of those people are... They might even realize, okay, it's an RTS game, so it's kind of difficult to get the most out of it on an Xbox. But... a lot of people were like, I want to play the game, and they're having a good time. It's a different experience. I've enjoyed casting it too because it's kind of a different world. So I think it's been good for the game. Kind of crazy how Yellow's got these long swords, which is a great unit to defend against the Ghoulam, but he doesn't know that there's Ghoulems. He's Celts, right? They have good infantry, so it feels like a natural unit to make. I think he wants to eventually run into Yellow's base to try and take out the TC. Okay, so there's the transport. Yellow still can't see them! Yeah, Ghoulam is not good against infantry. It's good against archer units. And these longswords should completely destroy. Man, these guys are all pretty close economically, guys. Look at this. The weakest player economically is at 46 eco. The strongest is at 55. Blue, I think, said sorry to somebody. Purple runs in to take out the TC. First community game wants the glory. Here he goes. Can he get it? He's underneath it. Oh, they're destroying so quickly. They're destroying so quickly. Yellow, repair. Repair it. Yellow, repair. Ah! Oh no! What's happening? Repair! He just went for it, guys. Rule number 1 of sudden death is just commit. Yellow's panicking like crazy. No! It went down! It actually worked! Oh, that's a disappointing one for KP Boy. He had the units, but it definitely looked like one of those times where you sometimes click too much due to the panic. The anti-micro, I call it. I think had he just let his units attack and then just focused on clicking the villagers to repair, it might have been better. Purple is rewarded for the aggression. First community game. Well played. Honestly, the Gulam surprised me against the buildings, though. I didn't expect them to take out a building that quickly. Rorik says, not KP Boy. He's the one who got the game started. KP Boy's been around a bit. We have a couple capes. We've got like Cape Man, KP Boy, KP this, KP that. Yeah, Yellow's army either bugged out or just had some weird issue there I can't quite figure out. So sad times for KP Boy. Red, on the other hand, oh goodness, dude. This is like... This guy's insane. He's imp already. Making bombard cannons. And I think he's going to transport these cannons. This is just... I mean, well macroed, has to be said. Oh, man. Is Blue going to make Samurai against the TC here? Blue has to know that Red, whose top score, is bordering him, right? So he's going to make another transport ship. Also, the new pathing with this patch is a bit wonky. Yeah, the new patch, for all the fun it's brought balance-wise, brought a ton of bugs, for sure. It always does, so it's always tricky for me, because I want to get excited about new things, but I know that that means we have to deal with a lot of nonsense for a while. Actually, on that note, when they brought Age of Empires 2 to Xbox, they screwed up how units path into each other, and it still hasn't been addressed, which is really concerning for me. You can path through other units, which means things like blocking it and whatnot is not as possible. And that they're aware of it. I reported it many times. We'll see what actually happens. Okay. Well, you've got to be so careful here if you're red. Because you can damage your own town center with your bombard cannons. Here come the samurai. They may have arson as well, which means they're better against buildings. We have quick walls. Blue has been spotted. Blue can maybe... Oh my god! Blue could ask for forgiveness is what he can do. Sick! Sick shot there from Red. You could tell, though, as he gets another amazing shot, you could tell how prepped he was there, right? He pulled most of his economy towards that TC, getting ready to repair. Did not want there to be any chances there. And Mr. Bastard... I tried to say Mr. Rat because I was like, let's skip that other part. People might have kids watching at home around the kitchen table, and I screwed up. Mr. Rat over here probably regrets it, but does say had to try, and I appreciate that. And that's the number one thing I want to see in these types of game modes. It might not look good for you, but you have to try. And are you kidding me, Sir Walrus? The most expensive unit that anyone could really make here, out of all the 8 players, would be the War Elephant. If you're talking getting full upgrades and whatnot, right? He's going for the War Elephant. It's one town center economy. War Elephants in this economy is insane. And he's going to do it anyways. Will it work? If he goes after Mongols, no. I don't think he'd have any chance. Against somebody else, though? Maybe. Where are those bombard cannons for Red? They're waiting here. Does Red know that castle's there? Okay, Red does. Imagine losing these 5 bombard cannons to a fire ship or something. Also, those cannons will be upgraded to the Hufnitzes. The Chonkers are loading up into the transport. There's a lot of expensive cargo in ships right now. And the cannons have arrived. Now, can they take out the TC? Blue could maybe kill them. The transport's got to come back now. And little dudes with the little legs, whoop, into the ships. Oh! No, he was so close. What a close call. That was an incredibly close call, and Red probably regrets that now as he backs away. Great job from Blue to pay attention there. Meanwhile, Gray still hasn't made a move. We haven't seen much from Rorik either. Green has had time to mass some Boyars and drop some castles. And then Teal, I'm not sure, but I think we'll see some transporting as well, as Teal's about to hit Imp and has some army prepared. But man, there's a lot for me to look at. Red comes home with the cannons, regretting that decision. Does see that Teal's making a castle here, and that's going to be a problem for Golden Pinchers. I guess it's Pincers. It's weird, like, I'm aware of... They're two different words, Pincher and Pincer. But I feel like I've never heard of a Golden Pincer, right? Heard of Golden Pinchers? So, I don't know. We'll ask for clarification from Golden later on. Golden's going to lose that castle. That's a very painful sight. Probably needs to run away. And needs to prep some army for those cannons. Over here, we have a move from Rorik, the Mongol player with all these Mangadai and Trebs. Will take out Gray's castle. And Gray is going to have a decision to make. Also, Orange is intentionally over-chopping here. Look at the timing. Hey, villagers. Boom. Thank you. Chop through a tree. Mangadai are here. Meanwhile, Purple's also loading up with more of these Hindustani Ghulams. And, oh god, Teal is dead. I'm so sorry. That happened so fast. This is all happening so fast. It's so sudden. Look at Purple. Purple's like, hey, I'm going to go kill somebody. Because that's what this game mode's about. What? I didn't realize Gray actually did it. The madman did it. He showed up with war elephants and Trebs. And hits Orange right when Orange thinks that Gray's going to be the easiest target ever. Dang. Sorry, I had seen this transport, which also has 2 Trebs in it. So the Mongol player's second score in the game, if that matters to you, out of the game to the Persian, War Elephant, and Treb attack. Just as we all expected. Does Purple see that transport? Because Purple might muster up the courage to go after the Persians. Again, will you remember that the Persians are as dangerous as they are, though? Because against someone else, you could probably go for the Ghulams. I don't think you could justify using the Ghulams against a Persian castle. Or, well, I mean, Persian castle, Persian TC. They have the same amount of HP. It's the same. That's the point. Yeah, Gray did kind of use himself like bait like that. Made it seem like it was possible. And here comes Purple. Bypassing the villagers, which is the absolute correct move. You don't want to alert him about this too early. The Ghulams, they're thinking about it. They are elite, so they have more attack than before. And they go underneath the TC. Now, you want to click under the TC. You don't want to be around. You want to be able to do this so you can get everyone hitting. And if Gray wasn't Persians, this would absolutely be scary. Still, though, it's not even halfway down. So, good response from Gray. The elephants have shown up now after their long journey over to Orange's base. It is halfway down now, but no, the elephants will do the job. Also, this is kind of annoying because you have Orange's Treb still deployed. So, anytime you build something here, it's going to be hit. Good move from Purple. This might mean that Gray's next target is Purple, though. So, hopefully Purple's prepared. And Golden says, GG, at least I didn't die first, haha. Honestly, you played really well. I think you had the right idea. You weren't expecting Red to chop through like that. And, oh, Blue, okay. Well, okay, Blue's dead. Kinch is a bully, dude. And Red says, well played, nice distraction. I've loved how these guys have appreciated each other's snipes thus far. As Gray just shows up, and he says, screw your Ghulams. I'm going to just click the Trebs onto the TC. Dude, these guys, I know this game might not be the longest sudden death game ever, but I've loved the commitment from everyone. They're not trying to protect their units, which seems stupid, but no, in sudden death, you just have to YOLO it. And that YOLO is going to lead to Purple dying here. I'm pretty sure. Purple's YOLOing on the repairs right now, and if Purple does somehow survive, Purple might actually be in a better position to kill Gray than Gray is to kill him. And Oh, he ran out of wood. He ran out of wood. Repair. Buy all the wood you can. There's still a Treb. Ah! Okay, it can survive that hit. Oh, man, the suspense is real. I'm supposed to look at other things, guys. The elephants are through because of an overchop. What is happening? Okay, I think purple survives. Red is making his way through teal's base to go towards green, who we haven't seen much of. The Trebs are all down for gray now. The elephants aren't going to be enough. So purple's still in this. These guys are both struggling economically, though, after everything that's happened. Green has kind of just been waiting. And green is getting elite bowyars. Saw that red had the cannons and decided to drop a castle there. We'll see if green can somehow get free here. And the big issue for the elephants is just how costly they are. Ghulam's seeming a lot cheaper right now, and there's 18 eco lead for Deadbread over gray. And gray is still struggling from the attacks before. Still can't go this way because of Mangadai. This castle's barely alive, trying to make a market. This orange just screw you and your market from the dead. Actually, I guess the Mangadai won't attack because units from a dead player don't attack anymore. Which I've said before and I'll say again, really sucks. I really wish they would revert that change, but I've gave my feedback enough times on that where I feel like they will never care. So I just thought it was cool, man. Just one more moment to talk about this, as I've talked about it many times. I really thought it added some spice when a dead player's units would still attack. Kind of like the Trebs are now. It somehow works for Siege, but it doesn't work for the units. Again, that's a Persian TC. Teal says, also T90, it's pincers as in the claws of a crab or scorpion. Yeah, I would say pincher, right? Is that not how... That's not how pincher's spelled in my mind, but I apologize for mispronouncing your name. I talked about it during the cast, about how I wasn't sure exactly how to say it. Okay, so red's the favorite. Red just seems to be having way too much fun here. I'm wondering if anyone could ever ruin that fun for red. Feels unlikely. We have villagers going down to the Ghulam raids. We have villagers rushing the Treb. Sir Walrus is falling apart here. Is pincher even a word? I honestly could be coming off extremely ignorant. Pincher is a word. But I think it's correct. The more I speak and the more I sound like an absolute uneducated idiot, I actually think you're supposed to say pincer for things that pinch. And my dumb, again, uneducated brain was like, no, it's pincher. Anyways, really unimportant. Really unimportant, and somehow that's become important, and now I feel like an idiot. Did Gray just lose a castle to Orange's Treb? Did Gray... Did that just really happen? Oh, God. See, this is what I mean. This is the stuff we would miss if these Trebs didn't attack. Like, these eagles should be auto-attacking red as well, in my opinion. And the Mangadai should be auto-attacking everything. Oh, that sucks for Gray, man. Man, those are some crazy Trebs. I guess he got siege engineers, but... I mean, that's dangerously close to hitting the town center as well. Sir Walrus says, hate you so much, Rorik, right now. And Rorik's been dead for 10 minutes. That's crazy. Again, what is going to stop red? Because currently, because this hasn't been overchopped, red can't be hit by anything. I mean, that's actually not entirely true. Green will overchop here soon. Green could also delete these walls and run around. Where Boyar should be pretty solid, but... water control could play a role of sorts, and... Green's just waiting. Sheesh. Persian TC. Obviously very strong, but we've got 2 trebuchets there, and there's nothing to kill those trebuchets. Sir Walrus needs his military building, which is going to be the castle, I guess. It feels like Sir Walrus is going to go down pretty quickly, though. How hard do you think Purple's heart is beating right now? Being your first community game, having killed Yellow like you did up against the Longswords. How close it was for that TC going down there as well, the surviving of that instance. There is an overchop. Red's going for Arbalest with Halbs and is cut through, but not the entire way. This is an experienced player right here. It's Gray's turn to survive down to the last ounce of wood in the bank. And takes out one of the Trevs. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I mean, he won't be able to make more elephants, right? So he needs to somehow take out this guy's TC. He saves himself. Dang. Wait. Oh. Shh. Oh my god, he's got so much. Guys, no! That's cheating! Green, look at your base! Green, look at your base! Green! No! Oh, so sad. You know his heart was beating so hard as he was focused on his transports, hoping that he could find Red's shoreline, get there, and take him out. I think he would have actually taken Red out as well, because I think some of the petards would have made it through due to the Bowyars. But that was smart from Red to make the outpost, cut through to the last tree, and just make sure that he could do it before he poked his head through there. Great timing from Red. And now, like, Red's in the best spot because the other two have been fighting each other and are both very weak. Which should lead to an easy victory. But I think for Purple and Gray, they want to fight for number 2 right now. And I'm noticing that there's not really much to stop these elephants. These freaking elephants, man. Look at them go. War elephants with 450 HP each. The military count for Purple is not there. And Purple's making a Treb. But I'm not really sure that Treb's going to contribute much. We do have elephants being converted, though. So that's one way to do it. I think if you're Gray, you don't fight any of the units. Actually, fighting the repair villagers is pretty smart. And then you click the TC and try and finish this. Purple's bringing woodline villagers to try and save the TC. It's at 800 HP. But these elephants are still too strong. It's at 500 HP. 400. 3-ish hundred. 500. There's another elephant on the way. What's happening? He's gonna convert another one. Dude, Purple's insane. How does he survive this stuff? Oh, no. Hey. Don't break it up, okay? Let them have their 1v1. Red doesn't see any of this, but if Red knew about this, Red should just let them have their 1v1 and then finish the other guy off. Green says, I didn't realize he could reach my TC from there. Yeah, you just cut through. But man, what a great job for surviving from Purple. So Purple's like, man, I can't believe we did this. If we can survive that, we can survive anything. Life is incredible. I've got so much hope and belief when I didn't before. Red, this would be the time for you to show yourself. Do-dun, do-dun, do-do, 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 do-do. Awkward. Awkward. Gray says, do you want a truce? I feel like we both have nothing. I'm not sure Purple's going to be alive to be able to respond to your comment in a moment. It's a crazy army composition here from Red. Is Purple typing right now? I mean, it's not like Purple could defend it. Quick double check. Purple says, I'm dead. Right before he dies. Well, it's true. I'd love for Gray to somehow have a random transport with elephants and Trebs again. But I don't think that's going to happen. Red had cleared out the players on his flank pretty early on in this game. And showed some good experience as well this whole way through. And I think sometimes that's part of it, right? If you go to kill someone that's right next to you with everything you've got and there's heavy resistance, then both you and that player you attack are then weakened. But if you're able to get them pretty quickly, you don't have to worry about the threat on that side. And then other aspects of the game become much easier for you, right? I think it was a very respectable game for Gray, considering the just the style points, right? Like the elephants and the trebs against the Mongols. So Walrus, how much wood do you have right now? Okay, 1,000 wood. So here's my repair tip in these situations. Well, actually, it really only works against trebs. But yeah, I was going to say, you stack your villagers underneath, and then your villagers can be the ones that take the hit instead of your town center. But that only works against trebs, I believe. Actually, another way to do it is use the repair hotkey, and your villagers will stack underneath. Whereas if you just right-click the TC, they circle around. But attack rounds will hit the villagers and also hit the TC, and Persians or no Persian TC, the TC goes down. So I think the winner in this game was a little bit more predictable than sometimes people might like, but the rest of the game was really, really good. We did see the experience, and I think the civilization paying off a little bit there for Red. But, I mean, Blue really went for it. I know Blue might be like, man, I wish I could have played more. Blue was ready to commit against Red, wasn't really scared of him. I think learned, though, that you need to have the walls here. Maybe there were walls, but like walling like this, for example, didn't protect the town center. Easy to look back on later. We had close call where Green was making a move towards Red. Again, disappointing that Green didn't have the time, but Red was ready. And again, close call with Purple, close call with Gray, close call with Yellow as well. We had a lot of close calls in the game. I like Hamburger for this. I think that it's tricky to play, but it can produce some fun games. It's definitely up there with maps like Hideout and Budapest, I think, are probably number 1 and number 2, or both just tied for first because they're so freaking good. People on YouTube, let me know what you think about Sudden Death. I like to mix it into my community game routine because it can produce very different moments than standard Regicide games. But of course, it won't be everything we do community style, so we'll probably have continuation of my Regicide games as well as another mix. But yeah, I thought that was pretty solid. GG's. A sheriff says my fishing ships were supposed to find the castles. Yeah, it was smart, right? You would have... Actually, your plan was perfect, but the timing was just off, right? The fact that he had the jump on you is really what decided it. I think if you had your navy and your fishing ships in front, you would find the castle, you could drop off, you would probably lose... A lot of it would depend on if your bowyars were first or second. But if your bowyars are first, your bowyars tank the attack, so your petards can pass. And you could use the petards and what's left of the bowyars against the TC. And I think you would kill him. It's just, unfortunately, he killed you first. So, that is how it goes.